This page here on Facebook, and it is a page, it's not a group, is an awesome page for you guys to go check out. DC Fan Gives Hope, and it's headed by William Adams. He also has a YouTube channel, DC Fan Gives Hope, and he's very positive about all things DC. So if you haven't checked out this group and you love DC, you should really check out this page. All right, and that's William Adams right there. Now, I want to draw your attention to a post I put up in DC Fan Gives Hope. And particularly, there's a common criticism I'm seeing now. When people get debunked over and over and over again, they come up with certain criticisms now. So I had put up this post in DC Fan Gives Hope. You can see my name right here, Anson Phillip. And I was talking about how, basically a post I put up on YouTube as well, that Zack Snyder basically did 100 minutes out of the possible 110 minutes runtime of actual footage of the film, which is just about 90% of the film, or a little bit more than 90%, whereas Whedon only did 10% of the footage. And I also, as I said before, while I don't do these things on YouTube, I do post up video posts in different venues for people to know more about these films. But at the bottom here, when people realized that they could not answer me on these things, and the truth was coming out, one person, whose name is Un Teva, he said this: the problem with the film is its editing. And I had a response to him, but I want to actually give you guys a much more comprehensive response. See, they're talking about the film's editing, which is very interesting. This person now realizes there's no argument with anything. They can't show that, okay, there was going to be additional footage in this film that was going to fill up, that there was an hour of footage missing. They can't say that anymore. They can't say that this film wasn't connected to other DCEU films of the trilogy. They can't say anymore that this film was a trashing of Zack Snyder's vision, because basically more than 90% of the film is Zack Snyder's work. So what they had to do now is talk about the editing, and that's the wrongest thing to do. I'll show you guys why. So here's Justice League, and when you go into IMDb, you get a breakdown of the full cast and crew of Justice League. And it just so happens part of this crew for Justice League not only involves the producers and the cinematographers and the musicians, but the editors of the film. See? So what this means is that you can track down each of these names. David Brenner was one of the editors of the film, and he was assisted by Richard Pearson and Martin Walsh, which is why it's in a certain order. Now, here's the funny thing about it, right? When you look at Richard Brenner, his filmography at first, we'll go with his filmography. Richard Brenner has edited Justice League, but that's not all. He's edited Zack Snyder's other two, his other two DCEU films he's put out. He's been the editor of Man of Steel, and he's also been the editor of Batman v Superman, both the Ultimate Cut and the theatrical cut, okay? Why this is funny to me, and I'm chuckling all the way through, is because a lot of these people don't they don't understand the industry. They don't know these people. William Brenner is an Oscar-winning he's an Oscar-winning editor. Okay, his filmography, as you can see here, involves Independence Day, 2012, Born on the 4th of July, Amber Dixon Brenner. In fact, listen, here's the thing. He won an Academy Award in 1990 for the film Born on the 4th of July. Okay? So he's an Academy Award winning editor. Of all the people you're going to critique, why an Academy Award winning editor, man? He's been nominated 5 other times for Academy Awards. His filmography involves Justice League, Snow, Steam, and Iron, which was Zack Snyder's short Okay, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, Escobar, Paradise Lost, 300, Rise of an Empire, Man of Steel, Pirates of the Caribbean: On Stranger Tides. That's the one that did pretty well at the box office. Wall Street: Money Never Sleeps in 2010. 2012, Wanted, World Trade Center, The Day After Tomorrow, Identity, Kate and Leopold, The Patriot. You know, The Patriot with Mel Gibson, that Academy Award winning film. It's him. You know, and you can go on and on and on. Independence Day, the blockbuster hit, and so on. My point anyway is this. You guys are running out of excuses to try and bash this film. You're running out of excuses. And the reason you're running out of excuses is because the truth is much more solid than lies. Instead of harping on lies, why don't you try to find out the truth of things? I guess you guys got to learn the lesson the hard way. So there were 3 editors on this film. The other editor is Richard Pearson, who assisted David Brenner. And Richard Pearson is also an Oscar-winning director. All right, not director, sorry, editor. Okay, he's won the Oscar for United 93, which was in 2006. That was the plane that crashed. Okay, he was nominated for an Oscar. He didn't win an Oscar. He nominated for an Oscar. Okay, he won the BFTA awards, and he won the Primetime Emmy Awards. Okay, this guy has in his filmography the following: Justice League, Kong Skull Island, The Accountant. You know those 2 movies, The Kong Skull Island, that people liked, and The Accountant, which people liked? He edited that. Okay? He also did Maleficent, which people liked. That was a Disney film. He did Iron Man 2. He did Quantum of Solace. He did Blades of Glory. He did Rent. You know that great movie, Rent, The Bourne Legacy, Supremacy. He did the Bourne movie. Men in Black 2. He did that. And so many others. Okay? So, again, you're picking the wrong guys. So you're saying that David Brenner did a poor job. Richard Pearson did a poor job with him, assisting him, and Martin Walsh. And the thing about Martin Walsh is also he's also an Oscar-nominated, Oscar-winning editor. You guys just picked the wrong people to just go after, man. Okay. So he won the Oscar for Chicago in 2002. He's won a BAFTA award for Chicago, and he's won a number of other awards for other movies. He's been involved in the following movies: Wonder Woman. He's the guy that edited Wonder Woman. Okay? So he merged, of course, with the editor. The main editor here is obviously Brenner, but he merges with Brenner to kind of seamlessly fit the Wonder Woman elements in the movie into the movie, because remember, we had the Steve Trevor part that Whedon kind of worked into this movie. So he was responsible for doing that. Okay. He's also done Cinderella, Titanic, Blood and Steel. He's done Wrath of the Titans. He's done Prince of Persia, Sands of Time. Prince of Persia wasn't that great, but nonetheless. He's done Clash of the Titans. He did V for Vendetta. Those people who talk about V for Vendetta was just a great movie. It's this guy that edited it. Thunderbirds. That was a Disney film. Okay? My point being, these guys are acclaimed editors. These are not just your normal editors. These are the best of the best editors you could get. You know? You guys just kind of pick the wrong things to talk about. And we all know this film was edited well because you got engrossed into the story and you were just carried along with the story and the characters. Alright, so it was edited well. Very, very well. So some people say, well, why were there 3 editors? Well, mainly because with the reshoots that Whedon did, you're trying to fit the relevant extra bits of storyline because of what happened in Wonder Woman. You're trying to integrate that into the Justice League movie. This is what the reshoots were for. All right, Whedon was there to tie up some things and fit fit the loose ends together in the story. All right, to make sure it fit together really nicely, and he did an excellent job. And then these guys, which are editors, they're the ones that cut out things from the film and trimmed it down and streamlined it. They principally do that. We didn't have to give the okay on that, but they're the guys who mainly did that. And they're Zack Snyder people. David Brenner is the head editor here. And then we have Martin Walsh, who was successful with Wonder Woman. So if Wonder Woman does well and gets an Academy Award somewhere, somehow, the director, Patty Jenkins, whoever gets Academy Award for Wonder Woman, Martin Walsh would have had a role to play in making that possible. All right? And all you people who love Man of Steel and you like Batman v Superman Ultimate Cut, David Brenner's responsible for that. He's also responsible, of course, for the theatrical cut of Batman v Superman. All right? Just saying. And Richard Pearson, extremely experienced, brought on board by Warner Brothers. I believe Warner Brothers brought him on board. But the other two, they were on board before in DCEU movies. So Richard Pearson probably was the only guy that was brought on board. And I'm not quite sure exactly why. Maybe, again, to help streamline and fit in some of what Whedon's doing. Because he was successful in doing Kong Skull Island, which was his most recent success. Of course, he did The Accountant the year before. Well, his most recent success was with Kong Skull Island, which is the highest grossing right now Kong movie of all time. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So at the end of the day, when people talk about editing, these are the facts in front of you. All right? It's just so easy for me to debunk these people. You know why? Because I'm coming from the truth, not coming from lies. You guys have a great one.